Okay, guys, here's our April newsletter. Although we're a couple days late on it, this is what we're going to do this month. We're going to show you how to make a different shape. This sign is one of our most popular signs. It's what we call our L board or letter board. And we're going to show you how we made this shape and how we make hundreds of them, because we sell hundreds of these signs. So this is what we do to make this shape. We started off, we used our scroll saw, but you can use whatever is necessary, whatever you have. If you find a shape you like, you draw it out and then you cut it with your scroll saw. And then you put some small screws in it. These are just what we call pattern screws. You put those in it, and from that, now if you're just going to make one or two of something, this is all you would ever need. This is just a little MDF board. But if you're going to make more than two or three of something, you want to go into a good production pattern, and that would be one of these. Now this is made from HDPE, which is high density polyethylene. It's cutting board, the same thing they make kitchen cutting boards out of, and you could cut 10,000 signs off of this pattern and it wouldn't change. They would stay the same. Now here's, again, it's a pattern screws. This is 1/2 inch thick, and these are 5/8 pattern screws. And the screw, you might want to take a note of this. The screws are, we buy them from McFeely's, and it's McFeely's screws. You can find them online, and it's 0605 screws. It's a number 6 by 5/8 flathead. That's all you need to know. If you go to McFeely's screws online, copy that name down and go online, and you can buy a box of 100 of these screws, and they'll make, 25, 30, 40 patterns. So I just wanted to let you know what those screws are. And so once we get this pattern made, now this is HDPE and this is our production pattern, we can lay that on a board. Now I'm going to cut this 1/2 inch MDF, but if we were making production, I would be cutting this out of 3/4 inch redwood or a 3/4 inch cedar. But what we do with the screws on there, we lay it on the board so, then we have a plastic or a rubber hammer, and then we tap gently. That's a gentle tap. We tap gently onto the screws so that it's now stuck to this board. That's what the screws do. They hold it to that board. And then we take our router base, which is just a standard Porter Cable router base. We have a template guide kit. These are template guides, and this is our template. And so we take a template guide that's good for a 1/4 inch router bit, which is what this one is. This is a 1/4 inch. This is a 1/4 inch ID inside diameter there. We put that on the base. Then we take a nut and we put on the back side of it, and it tightens up like so. Then you take a pair of channel locks, any pair of pliers, and just snug it up. You don't have to get it real tight, but just good and snug so that it doesn't vibrate loose when the router is running. And once we get that done, get that on there, we put the base back on the router, and we adjust the height so that this is a pattern. This is HDPE pattern, and this will ride on that. And we have, because we're cutting 1/2 inch, we have to be a 1/2 inch below that. So we adjust our router bit to where it just does clear. I mean, just barely, just maybe a 64th, which is 15 thousandths. Then we clamp it up, and by doing that, we're now ready to make our cut. Now, assuming that this was our redwood or our cedar, it would be ready to cut. But since we're using the HDPE and the MDF, we'll cut this just out of MDF so you can see what we're doing. So we'll get everything just right here. Turn the router on, and we put the base down on the pattern, and we Now I know that like a lot of things on my tapes and stuff, I make this look like it's awful easy, but the truth is, it's just as easy as it looks. Now, this is what I cut. This is a pattern. This is what I cut. And if we were in production on these, this would be either redwood or cedar or whiteboard, whatever you're going to make the sign out of. But this gives you your sign blank, and this just shows you how. This is what we wanted to do this month, is we wanted to show you how not only to make the pattern, but how to take the pattern and make a finished board that you can then turn into a sign. And this is what the signs will look like. They can be anything on that sign that you want to carve. And so this is our short monthly video newsletter, and this is all you're going to get this month. We'll get into this more later on in future newsletters, but that's it for this month, guys. So long.